everyone, how are we? I hope everyone's well. I want to say hello to Chantal Redman, David from Texas, hello, and everyone else that's watching. I hope everyone's doing well. If you've got any paranormal stories, subjects you want us to cover, just let us know in comments. That would be absolutely excellent. Facebook user, I ain't got your name, hello. Even if you haven't got a name, it doesn't matter, it's an hello. I hope everyone's doing well. How's your week? We're midweek, halfway in between, and I've got hot chocolate. I'm feeling good. Susan Johnson, how you doing? Leslie Hudson, how you doing? Recently, me and our Phil, it was a few weeks back, weren't it? Yeah. So we checked out. That's our Phil. Yeah, so he's going to be getting footage up. We checked out. It's a local area with a lot of history, mostly manufacturing steelworks. But funny enough, we were there checking out areas on a ley line. It's called Roman Ridge. It's in Sheffield and Rotherham. It spans across South Yorkshire, really. And so we went there in Sheffield. It's known as Steel City, hence in the title. And we checked out these woods. It's near, what is it called? Woolley, yeah. Near, on Winkerbank side. And these woods are on the Red Ridge, like the Roman Ridge ley line. So we were checking woods out, and then we saw these like remains of an old steelworks. So we thought, you know what, we'll check it out. We have got
trailer.
It's me, Suka. Hi, Suka. How you doing? We have got a trailer that we've had out for a couple of days just to lead up to this. So Phil, if you want to hit that trailer, just show them a quick review, and then we'll have a look at area. We're looking at the bridge right now. Is this somewhere? Hello, David from Texas. Jacqueline Dixon, how you doing? Just get my screen back, guys. There we go. Yeah, so Leslie Hudson, if you just put that comment up there, bro. Woolly Woods are haunted. Yes, we were originally there for Woolly Woods on Red Ridge, like on the ley line. And then, yeah, it's. Our Phil's coming in a bit. So yeah, but that's where we were. We were there checking out Woolly Woods, and we saw that haunted. We saw that remains at Steelworks Manufacturing. We've just played that trailer, and those ITC clips. It's funny. Thanks, Nigel Porter. I hope you're well. It's funny because those ITC clips. It seems like it were thanks for coming. A little bit of information, and then exit while we were there. They happened in that kind of broken order, didn't they, as well?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll have a look at that. Are you coming in, bro?
I'm gonna play the first trailer and I'll be in.
Right. Okay. Yep. All right. So yeah, let's. Yes, there's been a few reports in those woods. They are interesting. People have heard crying. There's been quite a few reports. We have got another video going to come up for those woods. Do you want to show up first video, bro?
Yeah.
This will kind of give a build up to where we were and what we're up to.
Whoa. 2 seconds.
It's just getting it ready, guys. David from Texas, the spirit box was very clear. Save yourself. Yes. So I mean, there were some really dangerous manufacturing methods going off at that time. I mean, it says steelworks. I mean, it even said burns in it as well. So it's.
And there's a reason for that, isn't there?
Yeah, but I mean, there were a lot of incidents in these places. There still is in these kind of workplaces because you're dealing with high temperatures, molten steel. It's a unique environment. Yeah. Do you wanna? Are you gonna
play it now?
Yep. Alright guys, so we're in just this little tunnel. Could have been used for services. It's got no smoking on it. It could have been part of a walkaway area from factory that were around here. Not too sure. Shall we check it out?
We had was servicing at one point. Is there any connection with any spirits in this tunnel?
Little boy.
What's the name of this little boy? Yonkers have been
This could be a subway side of the road. Yeah. This is where people could have hung out. Might have just been for a factory. Can you remember working here? Yes, I have to. There is.
Is there any messages or memories that you'd like to share with us?
We're looking at the bridge right now.
Is this somewhere?
Right, yeah. So
Hi, folks.
Phil's joined us.
Yay.
And we've got a brew.
And his cups come tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we've got some
We've got Red Rejects cups.
We've got Red Rejects cups. It's going to look good. No, I think there's a few. There might be a few layers to this site. Looking at comments, Chantal and David from Texas. Yeah, those were we hear those words clearly, and it's got to make you think. So it were steelworks, so there were manufacturing going on there. There were incidents and things like that. You know, unfortunate things happened on that site, but the question is, what's happened after that site were there? So when it was demolished as a steelworks, what's happened there since? So where we were stood, it was like a service tunnel. There's a big busy road there, but it's most likely a way to get in and out of part of foundry at steelworks. So fair enough. That's good. But yeah, we heard Mabel, little boy, just like Chantal put there, and then David from Texas. They were evil, exit.
One says, "I want him dead."
Yeah, I want him dead. That's interesting from that app because it's a few words put together, and that you don't usually get that happening.
Yeah, so, I've found, like we have actually found, using different apps, especially what Brian Holloway makes, is we actually find patterns sometimes, don't we?
Yep.
On how these results come about, and when it comes to Red Rejects app, it's very hard sometimes to string a sentence or words that come together.
Yeah.
So what actually baffled us were actually, the words what were actually coming out.
Yeah. Quite frequent.
We've got to admit, though, we actually did 2 investigations that day.
Yeah, we've got, because there were 2 service tunnels. Really, there were these old metal steps going up to it, coming down. You got onto land, and it's gone. There were only 2 inside areas, and it's like these 2 service tunnels. So we did 2 sessions, one in each tunnel. Have we got that? The fact that it said Philip and then later on John's pretty creepy. Yeah, it is true.
I always keep getting mentioned though, don't I?
Yeah, someone likes you on that side.
I don't know whether someone likes me or there's someone that's after me.
Yeah, there's one or other.
I don't know. I don't know these days. I've been cursed, I think.
Yeah, because
I've got Phantom Ghost line next to me. I've got things now on apps always shouting my name.
Yep.
I don't know whether I'm damned or am I just lucky as an investigator.
It's one or other. Let us know what you think, guys.
Yeah. Am I cursed? I don't know. The thing is with the spirit box is that they're able to sort through what is just from pre-stored word bank and actual communications coming through. To be honest with you, Chantal, do you know what we're going to do?
It is true.
I think best we could bring Brian back on.
Yeah.
Because Brian explains everything very well on how these apps work.
Yeah, because in effect, there is no forward. There's no full forward English words, is there, in that?
No, not
in that.
You actually are not supposed to hear.
Yeah.
English.
But just like Chantal says, we do write it off. We write a lot off. But it's things like that ember. When it said ember, but when that steelworks won't go, there were like the massive orange embers flying off at things.
But even just that, there's burns as well.
And burns, yeah.
So you come to conclusion. It is on about something something that's burning someone, and it's in perfect environment for it.
Yep. Hello, Marie Kelly.
All right, Marie.
How you doing? So, but yeah, you're right, and like we use ITC as well a lot as as a guide to what's going off. But in that area, we just thought we'd run it, and I think we got more than what we were expecting, weren't we? Because we didn't do the ITC for long. One thing we don't do is let's do it as long as we can and get and hopefully drop on something. What we do, sometimes people go, well, you didn't do that long enough. What we do is we ask a question, run it, and stop it. And if there's not there, then we want to know that it's a reply and not just running it long enough to get a reply. So that we try and weigh it up.
There's a lot though we do tend to dismiss. So the fact that actually to point out people are then saying, oh yeah, but it did say that. So it's just crazy, isn't it?
Or you did, or yeah, you were only doing it for a short amount of time. But we think if something's trying to reply, we try to gauge just long enough for it to reply, but not too long where we can just drop on a word coming out.
That were coincidence.
But that's a good idea. We'll get Brian on to explain how those apps they should be backwards and chopped up.
Yeah, Chantel, this is exactly the reason why we're doing this live today. Background area in itself is a steelworks. Relevance to burning.
Yep.
Embers. But they also
were a big steelworks as well.
You've got to bear in mind it is a place at the moment where some tragedy could actually happen, if you know what I mean, crime wise.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So as things, we all know kids mess about, things like that. They could have been doing anything in there. They could be doing their own rituals in there. The interesting thing is, especially for Chantel and people what aren't aware of the area we live in. So we call Red Ridge X. We're named after Roman Ridge, what runs through the village. This ridge joins to all the way through as county.
You were a patrol line, man.
It we're like a borderline between old ancient kingdoms, and also it's kind of the very south and north of England. So it's an interesting line, and also Sheffield, it's Steel City. It's where the came up with invented stainless steel
and Doomsday Gun. Well,
part of Doomsday Guns. But they do a lot in Sheffield. Steel City, it were well known for that. It manufactured most ammunition and munitions during World War II.
And you've got a really good knife and fork if it's Sheffield steel.
Yeah, made really good knives and forks.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah, nice scissors.
Yeah. They made all sorts as well during World War One and Two. Sheffield itself had largest prisoner of war camp in UK. We've been there a few times, and we're definitely going back, because what we're doing exactly what you said. Is we're digging into history. We want to know, when we do paranormal investigations, what are we finding?
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. How you doing? What are we finding when we're doing these paranormal investigations? Because there's a lot. We do it. In past, we've done a lot of hours of investigating. But now we want to go, right, what are we actually getting from it? Are we finding new history? Are we finding evidence? Let's have a look at what we're doing. So we might be going back to the same places, but we're going to do it to see if there's anything there. These steelworks, it's on that Red Ridge, that Roman Ridge. It were heavy manufacturing, molten steel, very, really active place. But it's a really earth-based kind of thing as well. Thank you, Nancy. That's excellent.
I'm super too.
Super. It were really earth-based kind of activity what we're going off there. The Red Ridge X app was built and designed with we put tunes in there as well, didn't we? For ambience, based on the Earth's frequency, and it was designed around ley lines really. So that's why we were using it there as well, weren't it?
Yeah, and the interesting additional feature of the webcam thing.
Yeah, so there's a camera in on that ITC app as well, and we've we were using that as well. So yeah, that steelworks. So have we got the second service tunnel?
Yeah. Oh,
That's
Nancy
what
put elementals too.
Yes, yeah, definitely. We'll talk about that actually. After, we'll play this video and we'll
See,
mention that.
Do you know when you mention
Elementals?
elementals?
Yeah.
Right. There's one place
Comes into mind.
and I hope you get it. Let's see if John gets it right.
Right, well,
After this.
after this.
Part 2 is another tunnel.
We're in another service tunnel, I believe. I'm going to put some RTC on. So we can pick up on the
People come to have a drink in here.
Careful. Anyone contact on your Mary or Henry?
Right. We know there's some good answers here. Have you got a message? Yes. What is your message? What is your own personal message? On the floor.
What, a person or an object?
Urn. Did you end up in an urn? Yeah. What's your own personal message?
I think I'm nothing to me.
Well, we wish you well. I thought I heard this is hell. Can you say that again? If you mean it. Are you where we are now on Earth? Are you saying Earth is hell? Yes, I see you then. Thank you. Yeah. So towards the end of that, that's interesting because as Chantel's just typed, not that one just yet. the bottom one. Leave. Yeah, so we heard leave, and we thought, do you know what? We will. So we did stop, and we left that tunnel. In that one, there were a lot of the first tunnel. We got a lot of replies talking about like husband, Mabel, a little boy, Burns. Thanks for coming. Second tunnel, you can tell there's a different story there.
That creeped me out actually.
Itself.
What is it now? It's something, and it's a slum.
I was scared. It's a slum.
Yeah, I mean it is a bloody slum.
Well, yeah. I mean it's really messy in there. Yeah. It's quite dangerous.
And I think what like David from Texas said, you know, it does sound like a bunch of traps. So
it does. Yeah,
unfortunately.
So when it comes to this particular site, this steelworks, we found it really interesting, and we found those ITC results.
Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell on that. Yeah, you're right there. Especially how these last couple of years are going. We found this location interesting, and we will be going back. So, but Nancy mentioned elementals, and you said,
yes.
let me guess a location straight away. It's going to be Uberstand.
Yeah. Uberstand, definitely.
And I've mentioned it once going up there. I get if anyone's, you know, when someone says, "Oh, you're a medium," I always say no, but I do pick up imagery a lot. I work a lot with dreams. I get a lot of dreams, messages through dreams, premonition or two as well. But one thing I do get is when I'm walking and we're doing these investigations, I get a connection to nature quite well. And Uberstand, it's always made me think there's elementals there. It's like a build-up of conscious nature energy in different forms. I've always found that there. I've even got a strange theory that came to me and I wrote down. I'll have to write it and post that actually. About these elementals. Another place as well is that prisoner of war camp in Sheffield. Would you keep that on? That prisoner of war camp in Sheffield, I get very little human feeling there, but just this energy in trees and woods around me. Do you feel that there?
I think we felt exactly the same as what Paranormal Hauntings did when we went and visited it. We're all in a different zone, weren't we? We were walking around. We didn't know what to think. We didn't know whether to be happy, whether to be sad. I think we spent the whole night wandering around thinking,
how do I feel?
How do I feel?
Yeah. So
it was strange.
It was strange, yeah. So it was Nancy who mentioned elementals, isn't it?
Yes. And my reason for Uberstand as for elementals is that everyone said that there were these altars and there were, you know, bad altars and there were like witchcraft there. What we have actually seen is groups of people that were just nature born,
nature-based rituals. So it's not negative, it's not positive, it's their thing, what they do.
I mean, we did see them plant trees.
Yeah, we've seen them plant trees
and saplings.
Yeah.
So there were naturistic coven what were actually around Uber.
And they are nice, actually, nice people, aren't they? So, but yeah, elementals, really interested in that. I'm going to write something up about that as well. But Chantal Raymond, time will tell, as almost immediate response to your question about the Earth belonging to us. Yeah, I know.
It was strange, that one.
It is strange. That's another subject I'm constantly looking into.
And this is why I like these lives and why we should actually go and do reviews of these investigations we do. Because we miss quite a lot, Mark.
Yeah, we do. Second one up, if you don't mind.
That one.
David from Texas.
Sounds like
no, right. Second.
That one.
Yeah. yeah, we miss a lot sometimes on these. I mean, there's a few things we didn't highlight.
Oh.
We asked a question and it said yes.
Mm.
We didn't even pick that up at the time. David from Texas, did you all sense presence there or an uneasy feeling? It were like
That second tunnel, I say.
That second
you know,
tunnel,
this
yeah.
one, what we saw, I'd say definitely got an uneasy feeling.
because we don't always leave when it says leave. We say, wait, why? But this time, in that tunnel, it said leave. And it weren't scared. It were, there's something here. It's wanting us to leave. We're just going to leave. You know,
To be honest with you,
Why pick a
I
phone?
got freaked out after hearing melting and something and burning of the skin.
yeah.
I did look at some because David has actually asked what is the history of that place.
It's
Just
big
a steel work, big steel work.
Big steelworks.
And there were quite a lot of tragic accidents that did happen in that steelworks.
Some really
It
bad
would
things.
it wouldn't surprise me if a billet hit a furnace or some sort, or some molten.
I know there were one particular story where when the metal it's molten, they're hitting it to bend it. Something happened and it coiled up and it just went through a guy. I mean,
unfortunately, also when them rods come from pressing, rods to mold them, and they let go and it goes on a spinning wheel.
Yeah.
Apparently they can overshoot.
Yeah, overshoot it.
And then it's not the cherry red. They're going to make some rate design.
Well, it does usually kill people. So these steelworks are really dangerous places. We've got a lot of respect for Pastor. I mean, Sheffield, that steelworks and industry, it kind of fueled World for a while in a few ways. So there's a lot of respect for that.
So
and all workers.
Geographic thing.
A lot of respect for that those people who were doing those jobs. Also, there's a bit of history background because of Sheffield's high output of munitions and steelworks. That area it got blitzed by Germans during World War II. A lot of Sheffield United football club there. One of their stands got hit by a bomb. And even to this day, don't they? Every now and again, when they're building a new high-rise or a set of flats, something like that, a section of Sheffield might be cordoned off to defuse an old World War II bomb that they find in ground. Our grandma, she used to stitch buttons on repairing soldiers' uniforms.
Yeah, she did.
And a bomb went through factory. It went through and it hit the floor, but it didn't go off. And all workers were there looking over it.
I don't think I'll be looking.
They were looking over it, running. Yeah, they were looking over it, and they were just like, "Right, it's okay, get back to work." So they got back to work. They came in, removed bomb, and so Sheffield, it's got a lot of history. Steelworks, and stuff what happened through wars, and then you've got. Before that, the Brigantians, an ancient tribe what lived there, they were one at last to have power while Romans came in to invade England.
That Boadicea's lot.
But Brigantians, they really did hold off for a very long time, and they got pushed back into Wales, things like that.
But we're talking about rock.
So that's those locations at Steelworks, and we will be going back to that. But Chantal Raymond brought up a good point. It's geographic location has to have a major influence on paranormal activity. Like water is proven as a good conductor for paranormal anomalies, as I'm sure certain metal-rich soils are as well. So David from Texas then said something about limestone. Yep. Now, that ley line, that Roman ridge, it does sit in some areas on a massive limestone rich ground, a seam of it. So that does make sense. Also, this area, it's massive for, well, it was massive for coal mining. There's not much of South Yorkshire where you can go over and the intertunnel somewhere underground, because it got mined. Most of the villages were built due to mining, mining villages. So there is a lot of seams of minerals in this ground. There's a lot of metal-rich ground as well. So Chantel and David, that's you're dead on there. So on that note as well, I'll post into comments some work that we've done on ley lines.
It's incredible, actually, because it also brings up reason for these ley lines in itself.
Yeah,
like I say, you need to read the guys. Interesting, and we'll put that post up if you want to do your further research on on ground materials.
Yeah. So the link that I'll put into the comments is where I've got the bedrock layout for UK. I've got that, and then I've had a look to see where Stonehenge is. Now, strangely enough, it's not bang on the bedrock location, but there's other layers as well above the bedrock. I'm going to be getting into that. But if you look at the bedrock map, all the seams of minerals in country seem to join in this one area. And strangely enough, Stonehenge is just around that area. And then ley lines seem to be traveling in the same directions as bedrock minerals seams. So yeah, it does seem to line up, and that steelworks. It's pretty much on that line, that ridge. So
which probably then might actually say, well, if you do get activity there, could it be caused by that?
Yeah, and that's the reason why we were in those woods. It's the reason why we nipped that steelworks, and it's the reason why we're going to be doing a few more on that line. The investigation itself might not look that good, as in we might just be in a field, but it's the location of the field that we're in. There's a purpose, the reason why we're there. Yeah. And we will explain it when we do that.
Well, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Like we always try as best, don't we, to explain some reasons.
Yeah.
So shall I put that one?
Yeah. So that prisoner of war camp, we're going back there actually at soon. Point, yeah. We're meeting up with a couple of people. I think the fact you didn't know how to feel, happy or sad, which is this prisoner of war camp, shows that more than one spirit was around. So maybe each spirit. Yeah, unbelievable that prisoner of war camp. It was largest in country. I've heard said that it got overrun by inmates. It never got overrun by inmates. It were a World War One prisoner of war camp. It were a World War II prisoner of war camp. Funny thing is, in World War One, a German admiral were captured and were put there. And to escape judgment at time, he pretended to be mentally ill, so he got took away to an hospital in Manchester. And then after World War One finished, they released him. And during World War II, when Hitler was out of the scene, it's that admiral what were at Sheffield during World War One what took his place as leader at Third Reich. So this guy, he were in World War One in Sheffield. He managed to basically get out of that, and he ended up becoming Third Reich leader, which you can't believe it. And so he were there. There were a grisly murder there where a load of inmates suddenly killed this guy. They say that he reported on an escape attempt. So other inmates that obviously didn't like it, killed him. There were loads of escape attempts. There's loads of little remains of tunnels what were dug for him to try and escape. Like I said, it was the biggest POW camp. There were thousands there. Mostly, it started with Italian prisoner of war. Then there were Germans and Ukrainians as well. Funny thing is, after World War II had finished, some, even during the imprisonment, they built relations with people around, which there ain't many places around that area, is there?
Yeah.
So locals pretty much came up, and I think they were feeding them through fence. They got relationships, got to know each other, and after World War II finished, some even made a life here in this country after being prisoners of war. I mean, categories of these prisoners in this war camp were your hard nationals, which were your black prisoners. They were called black. They were white, as in they were just doing the job, a soldier doing the job. So they were called white. And then there were ones what they couldn't determine, and they were grey. So they were more grey than anything else. But yeah, it's unbelievable, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
now, when you look at this place now, it's just a wood, isn't it?
It's a wood with the bases still left there.
Yeah,
and there were a lot of bases, weren't there?
Yeah, and absolutely beautiful scenery as well. So,
but you don't get to hear much
no
nature there.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. You go there, and usually you go into a wood around these places. You've got pheasants, things like that. You can go in there and not hear anything except for cars going past nearby.
Yeah.
Other than that,
creepy.
Yeah. So yeah,
and you're going to put this one up.
It's like we are around 70% or something like that of crop circles found in the UK. So some. Well, yeah, I don't know what to think about crop circles, because we had one just up road from us only once. It weren't there in the morning. There were houses backing onto it. They saw no signs of anything, and dog walkers used to walk late there. And then in the morning, a full-blown massive, and it weren't just a circle. They made it a bit fancy.
Yeah.
So I really don't know.
Let us know. This might be a question for Jesse.
Yeah, we're going to ask Jesse about it. Jesse Craig New is someone that comes onto his page a lot. He gives us some great insight into aliens, portals, everything like that. We might ask Jesse about crop circles, because there's obviously some that are made by people. Some are, but this one was massive, and it were fancy as well. And it's never been done since either. So you have to let us know what you think about crop circles, guys, because I haven't got a clue.
Chantel's.
Okay. I think Stonehenge and crop circles are tied together in some way. Oh, you see, yeah, makes sense. Personally, I believe crop circles are some kind of map that will be clear when human tech catches up to whoever leaves the crop circles. And Stonehenge, similarly ancient monuments, some kind of gateway. But this is where the lines between paranormal and extraterrestrial can start to get blurred. Well, yeah, I mean,
I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah, they're all one thing, I think, as well. Because
at least no, I mean, we're saying that terrestrial life is not normal, but who's to say what is normal?
It's only because it's not being made a fact.
So yeah, that's obviously paranormal, isn't it?
So it becomes paranormal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But either way, it's beyond the mundane and beyond dimensions. We like to talk. We like to talk about anything that's beyond mundane. And one thing what is not mundane is any subject that has come up within the last 2 years, 19 months, whatever. If you look at the world events recently, it seems like there's some kind of demonic plan or force happening to the world right now. Some world event, just one of these things that occurred every now and again, is normal, but it seems like last 19 months. It seems.
We've all been through a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, it just seems. It seems like there's a lot. there's that much things happening. It just looks like it's part of a weird mechanism.
And this is the point. This is another point, though, isn't there?
So we can talk about any of that.
A lot of people's going to seem to forget that when everyone were trapped in the house, there were near enough quite a lot of people were experiencing something.
Yeah, I mean, you're in your house more. You're building more energy up in your house. So these lockdowns, it's going to have an effect on people. It had effects on everyone.
I couldn't. There were loads of people that were reporting that they were hearing things at night when they were in bed and they didn't normally.
Yeah,
it was showing up.
And it makes sense. People not being able to do what they usually do.
Michael Hartley. I believe Jesse is an alien. Well, he is an alien. He says
he's explained how he is an hybrid human. So yeah, that's.
The reptilians are pushing the agenda. Biden.
Yeah, well.
Did I say Biden?
I don't know. I don't know what you said. No, that reptilians. Right. So I find that interesting.
Oh, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, but reptilians I find interesting because human brain has got a reptilian section to it, and it's also a euphemism for people that are cold-blooded. It's how they get things in life, and how they'll just do anything they want. They just snidely get into play.
Have you seen that?
I do believe. I do believe in
that film. I live.
Yes, definitely. So I believe some people. It's like they've got a reptilian mindset on life, and yeah, David. Actually, it's people like that what try to control the world, and but I think all this again, it goes back to. All this goes back to that location we were at, because it were a steelworks, but it were a steelworks through a war. It's on a ley line. It's got geographical factors, and then as it's been demolished, it's just left as a massive open like graveyard to manufacturing. There's these 2 subway tunnels. People hang about in them. We don't know what's going off on that land at the moment.
I think crime that goes off. God forbid.
I mean, there's crime, but there's also people might be doing little rituals, like people get together, they do a Ouija board. They might have done them in them subway tunnels. Who knows? But you can expect it actually, because it's what happens. So yeah, any more comments?
So Chantal goes like the pyramids of Giza and some of the ancient monuments that perfectly line up with the constellation Orion.
Yeah, no,
it's called Cosmic Nexus.
We have looked into that, and Chantal as well. If you look up Thornborough Henge, it's like it's unbelievable because not many people talk about it. We've been. It's really peaceful. It's really nice. It's a mile long. There's 3 groundworked circles. It's a triple henge. Apparently, it's second or world's oldest, which is odd because growing up, people would tell you that no one lived in UK with a brain that long ago. But obviously they did. But it's more accurate to Orion's belt than Egyptian pyramids. And it's older. Thornborough Henge.
So you just won't think it.
And you won't think it.
There's some scary ass bulls as well.
Yeah,
in that field. I never moved so quick.
Yeah. So we went, we saw the farmer, and the farmer went, "Yeah, lads, if you want to go in."
I think he was laughing.
He was laughing at us.
He knew that them bulls were going to go after me.
Yeah.
Yeah, me.
You again. He
goes, not like smelling me. What is it?
So he said, "Go on, lads, get in field. Let's have a look around." Excellent. And there were these. Oh man, they had horns, massive horns. They were at a distance. But as we were there, a few of them must have been scouts, and they were like, "I think we're going to go over and talk to these guys." And our Phil were closest, and they went towards.
I was doing no harm. I was eating an apple. And then all of a sudden, I had a bull chase me.
Yeah. So Arthur getting chased by this like
Crazy ass bull.
half a ton bull with massive horns.
Genetically modified that bull.
They were, and
Alien.
he jumped over that fence. I can tell you. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I had some weight on me then and all.
Yeah,
You
so-
should have seen me actually. It would have
Mhm.
been comical if it were recorded.
it was that long ago as well. We didn't have much technology, did we? At that time,
No.
no.
I mean, we just had a plain camera, didn't we?
Plain
It's a
camera.
shame, really. It would have been good. I think we're gonna have to go there and do a proper investigation.
We'll do Thornbury at some point, but definitely look it up because you might find that interesting. David from Texas, I like your comments, and yeah, we know about that. What they used to sell that $8,000 a pint.
What?
Adrenochrome.
What that?
Yeah, FDA put a ban to it. But if you had to ban something, it was obviously getting bought. It's beyond my thoughts. That.
Oh, Chantel's put one.
If you also lined up the three main monuments that line up with the Orion, they all run along a lateral line, and all three of those also line up with Orion as an O. Exactly. Yeah.
There's definitely some. I
Something
mean, you've
we're
got
missing, isn't
to. I mean, come on. These Egyptians weren't daft, were they?
With a human, were they getting directed by something?
They've got
else.
to be. I mean, let's face it.
Well, Sumerians as well.
Yeah, I mean, you had all these civilizations that really didn't know each other, and they were all building monuments towards this
Same
line.
thing.
So you just got to think. There's something going on.
There's a lot we don't. There's a lot we're missing, and I actually think the truth will be crazier than what we think. I really do.
I think we'll get to know someday.
Well, yeah, hopefully. And but yeah, it's Nancy. You typed elementals. I'm going to do a bit of write up on that with elementals because there's a few locations where.
Bless us, you can't really like our elementals.
Yeah, and
I like elementals.
I do. And it's something I'm going to write up about because there's a few places we go to, and it really does feel like they're around. It's not just that. Actually, one of them, Uberstan, where I take my walk a lot. It's a weird thing that I've picked up on. Something odd usually happens with animals while I'm walking up to it. There were a pheasant as well, and after that happened with pheasant is when I came across that coven. So just before I found coven that we find interesting up there, I'm walking up. This pheasant landed on pavement. It went into the middle of the road.
Oh yeah, they always do.
And then
some
this
strange things to direct you, don't they?
Yeah, and then this car came, and as it were going past, it flew into the wheel, and it died.
Yeah, there's been some really freaky stuff.
And I looked at it.
Around you.
Yeah, I looked at it. And I'm like, what's this? What's going off there? It were out. It were out of ordinary. It weren't something I've seen pheasants do before. I'm like, what's going off here? So I walked up. I was keeping an extra eye out, thinking, I wonder if something's going to appear or make itself known. And weirdly enough, I came across that coven for the first time.
Oh.
So, yeah. I just put it down to signs, really. Maybe they didn't build them. Maybe they were already there. Good point. If extraterrestrials have mastered time travel or been in space-time, they could be on the way. And at the same time, already be here. Yeah. Do you know what? None of that would surprise me. None of that. If tomorrow we woke up and they've made themselves known,
Probably
won't surprise me. I'd be excited.
that's why there's still apes today.
Oh no, yeah. Because
Maybe we are as a human race alien now, as we talk.
yeah, because maybe nothing really evolved, and it's just
I mean, we are close to it, though, aren't we? But there's still apes.
yeah. But if you're going to design something to live on Earth, you'd look at what's already alive and think, well, that's what they need to be, a bit like that, but just like engineer it. So I get you on that. Yeah. So yeah, and on other lives we'd cover all these subjects, and definitely, David, those subjects.
Oh right, yeah.
So strange activity humans do is literally unbelievable.
So Nancy goes in the ground where the POW camp is.
Yeah, that where that POW camp is. Yeah, that's where there's Uberstand just up the road. That feels elemental. Like there's things there in that sense, elementals, and that POW camp. When you go there, sometimes it's not. You walk around and you feel like there's something, more earth based, more nature based, watching you, kind of thing. There's a couple other locations. That castle, Knaresborough.
I can't remember.
There's a castle near Knaresborough, near Mother Shipton's Cave. Yeah, there is. I felt it there as well, and Pontefract Castle.
Well, Pontefract Castle, yeah. I mean, that's an interesting castle. I had a message from that.
Yeah, you did.
It was weird, really. I mean, I felt like they were arguing, and monks getting slaughtered and stuff.
And weirdly enough,
they did
it there. So our Phil don't usually get messages. We went to Pontefract Castle, and you did. At that point, he didn't. He did, and he talked about a monk with a red robe, and I'm thinking now,
because that's normally cardinal, isn't it?
Yeah. So monks they weren't usually a red robed monk. They were white, black, brown. Couple others, but red, no. But in Pontefract, strangely enough, there was an incident with a cardinal, and cardinals have red robes, and he had a red robe. And we started digging into history of this cardinal at that place, and we haven't even wrote that up yet. So we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because within one place, and me getting that message, an actual cardinal did come up to that because there was a major problem.
There were a murder there. Also, the slaughter of those monks at Pontefract Castle links to an abbey just up the road from us in our county, and then it links to activity at East Drive, 30 East Drive, a really well-known paranormal spot.
It's going to be a big write-up.
This write-up it could easily be a book.
Could you actually do a live talking about it?
When I've wrote it up, I'd definitely do a live talking about this, guys, because we're talking about two different kinds of monks going to war with each other for 100 years. A castle where a really good ammunition guy, they put him in a basement, well, in a dungeon for 6 months.
Yeah,
didn't let him come out until he made loads of ammunition for a castle. It were nearly a capital of country. Loads of stuff going on. Crazy stuff, and all that activity and all that energy. No wonder that in those areas there's paranormal.
Yeah. I like. Maybe humans are just social experienced. Why not do a Prosper as a whole? Maybe they're just visitors. Like we could visit a circus. Good for a laugh.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's true.
To be honest with you, with events recently, what's been happening.
Yeah, I mean,
if I was someone looking over Earth at the moment, I will be pissing myself.
I'd laugh because, especially when we're all I won't, but especially when people coming out with loads of toilet roll, and I bet they'd look at those things and go, look. Are these guys nuts?
I just think
it's easy to get. I don't
Black Friday over in America.
Well, even
and they're trampling over each other.
It's happening here now.
I mean, I had an incident a couple of Christmases ago.
It's easy to get caught up in these things.
I went at Tesco,
Yeah.
I wanted some sprouts,
Sprouts.
right? And for some strange reason, this woman got it into her head that she deserves them sprouts. I went, you can have them sprouts if you want. I backed away, and then another guy come, I want them sprouts. Oh my gosh. There were an argument over sprouts.
Yeah. And I witnessed a fight
I looked, honestly, I did. I looked at a guy who were filling freezer up. I went, does this happen all the time? Oh yeah, there was someone nearly fighting over a last box of stuffing.
Last box of stuffing. Now that's worth fighting for.
I don't know.
No,
Leave them to it.
we were in a shop. I were in a shop and they had gifts. They have exclusive offers on gift box, right? And it was the last one. This woman picked it up. This other woman was trying to pick it up, and then this other woman came and grabbed it off them anyway. And then all three were fighting weirdly, and I had to laugh because box hit floor and it was smashed. And then assistant came over, and he was trying to split charge between them all to pay for a broken item.
Did not
and that weren't going well. And then I think security had to come. And I'm looking, I'm thinking, what? And it's supposed to be Christmas. So sometimes I just think, is there a bit of demonic demonic energy going off when these things are happening? Because me, I'd have just gone, right, look, it's not worth the hassle. Have your box, find someone else. But yeah.
So that's why I firmly believe we could not possibly have anything that they could need. Even our resource-rich planet is depleting and dying.
Yeah, I mean, they might have left us here. It's a good point. I don't know why they'd want us.
Organs.
I don't know. Maybe there's
why they like probing.
Maybe there's an energy. Maybe it's more on an energy level that they need us for.
Yeah.
But it's a good point.
I feel an X-Files coming on.
We'll do an X-Files subject. Definitely on that.
Yeah.
Nancy, elementals really scare me.
Would you call a Jinner than a mental?
It's how possible. I like to separate them though, because I believe elementals are a nature-based focal points of energy. So, like when it comes to fierce, naturally fierce things, and you've got something representing that fierce energy. One thing about nature is I don't believe they ain't good and bad. For instance, lion eating gazelle. It's not a bad thing. It's eating. It's not doing it because it hates the gazelle. Nature's not bad or there's no real good and bad. It's just nature getting on with nature. So
Chantal, I absolutely love you. I hope you're. I hope everything turns out all right and over at your end.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been brilliant having you on.
Definitely. And
definitely.
Hope to see you again on next live.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nancy, elementals. I actually think. I think it'd be odd to get an elemental having a major problem with you, unless
you're damaging
something in its environment. So yeah, but yeah, good night to Chantal Redman.
Yeah, so Nancy's saying ground-based evil is real.
Yeah, now there's things like things what humans have done on nature, leaving an imprint of evil behind, which then could be taken on by an elemental. So yeah,
definitely.
But at the same time, I get you actually. If anything is going to be more scary, the forces of evil, forces of nature, definitely be more worrying to me, because nature's by far. I mean, humans we're really we kind of on top of apex predator kind of thing, because we've got a different kind of intelligence and awareness. But when it comes to us out there in nature by herself, nature really trumps us, because nature's beyond, it's levels above our kind of fierce. It's got strength. So if you've got these elementals with them properties, yeah, flipping out. There's reasons to be worried, but at the same time, there's a natural order. So you'd have to be probably in their environment, and you'd have to be triggering them.
So yeah, Nancy's saying not all nature is real.
Yeah, because there's the visible and the invisible realms as well. So yeah, and then that goes back to Ayatari Coops. So and then that goes back to jinns.
Yeah, well, they're just,
because we did encounter a guy, and he's been telling us over time a lot about jinns, and jinns aren't something you have a theory on in some parts of the world. Jinns are just jinns; they're real. The jinns at top of that field are as real as your next door neighbour in some countries, and to a point where they will put a brick wall around an area, and there's no gate, there's no opening, and they'll often say, well, and I said, well, why have they done that? And he said, it's simple. That's the way the jinns are based, and they've told someone in that village to section it off so we don't pollute it.
They really don't like us, do they?
Well, some do, some don't. It's just like humans in gym world. Some like us, they want to help us. Some don't like us. They don't like us, and they don't want to help us. It's a really interesting subject, really.
Elementals will be going crazy soon, guys. It's nearly magic mushroom season. I don't know. I've seen a magic mushroom once, I believe, in Amsterdam. I did not try it.
But yeah,
let's actually.
I definitely, me personally, I definitely would stay away from magic mushrooms.
Yes. So right,
coffee's strong enough for me nowadays.
Yeah, and cake.
And
cake.
Cake.
Right. So, today's subject was about the steelworks.
Steelworks. But that's steelworks. If you watch it from beginning, it were a new location to us. We will be going back, and we'll be going back to that woods next to it. Steelworking history, World War I and II histories there. But yeah, and then we have covered other subjects that you've brought in, and that's best thing. If you want something covering, we'll look into it.
So yeah, Jim's a lot of faiths or demon types.
Yeah,
I'll give you a classic example if you want to watch a film. Wishmaster.
Yeah, Wishmaster.
Azura Mazda, isn't it?
Yeah,
Azura kinda a jinn.
Kinda. Azura Mazda. That's the it's the faith that I can't pronounce. Zoroastrianism.
So gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's one of the oldest. It's one of old. Yeah, it's one of the oldest. It's based on Zora, and it's one of the oldest religions on earth. Really, I do believe it goes back that far.
The guy was like a Buddha, in a way.
Yeah. But Azura Mazda, I've got a write up about that coming, and it's all from watching Wishmaster. It was brilliant.
Yeah, good film.
Yep. And my
for him now, actually.
Yeah. And my superstition over 101 has been solved. It's actually my new lucky number. Because 101's always been something where if so it's not
like
good.
Room 101.
Yeah, Room 101 in 1984, guys. It feels like we're in 1984 or in the beginning of. You put Winston in Room 101. It's where you get tortured, That's the bad place. Then there's 101, the game show thing where you didn't like something, you put it in.
Yeah.
So 101, I always I got an hotel room and it was 101. I got it changed. That's just that number now. I like 13. I find that lucky. I now like 101 because I understand why they made it. They wanted it to look bad. What's the comments?
Who is the big guy behind you guys?
Well, strangely enough, this guy, Roman Ridge. We like that. And then we've got Rig Dyke. Rig as in ridge, and Dyke as in it's a dike. And that's the name of the Red Ridge seam where the steelworks were actually. But Rig is also the nickname for Heimdall, the Norse god of the rainbow
of Asgard, right?
Asgard, yes.
That big, yeah.
So we
permafrost.
Yeah. We like all that kind of thing.
Guardian of the permafrost.
Yeah, we like all that kind of thing. So that's the reason why he's there today. Yeah. It's our.
I'm going to be built like that one day.
Yeah, with arms.
And everything.
But it's
big hairy chest.
Yeah, it don't look like it don't look like Heimdall, but it's a tribute to him. Heimdall, that's what it is.
I think he'll like that. He'll probably think that is one sexy beast.
I think he would, yeah. He's a big guy. Yeah. Put that one up. Oof, yeah. The D-Book had a bad rap in the film. Of the same name. I believe that started the rise in popularity of these boxers and its Jewish counterparts. Yes. I mean, we had that D-Book box, didn't we? And you had a bad experience. A bad experience were centered around that D-Book box. But looking into it, there's a D-Book and there's another thing as well. I'm sure it begins with I. And films do give him a bad rap, don't
they? Because like dolls.
You
could say that about dolls with Annabelle films.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, some of these D-Books and things like them
could be legit and some can't.
Yeah, but I mean, in the face, some are actually helpful. And they're not. Maybe they just act the way they do with certain people under certain circumstances,
but then there could be a lot of people just faking it just for money.
Yeah,
unfortunately, that's just how the world goes, isn't it? Anyway.
But what happened with the box what we had, which I'll be honest with you, I hadn't seen another box like that one. It's the one that Paranormal Hauntings on. What happened with that happened. I had it, put a cross on it. As soon as I put a cross on it, all the nightmares and stuff came to our film. I live adjacent behind you. You were getting nightmares of rats and stuff. They were putting traps all over. There were nothing getting caught. There were no rats. And as soon as we got rid of it, it stopped.
Yeah. There's been quite a few people who know my story now, but what I can say, it's genuine, and I'll never have that in my house again anyway.
And when we picked it up, as soon as I picked it up, we had it in the car. An American friend of mine, she messaged, "Yo, John, whoa, what's around you right now?" Because we were doing distant Reiki, and she went, "Whoa, what's going off? What have you've picked something up, or you're around something what's not good?" And I couldn't believe it. Seriously, we're within 10 minutes.
Yeah, she were adamant, weren't there was some bad around us, and I just
went like that with phone, took a photo behind me because we were on back seat.
I was concentrating like hell on
driving.
I was like, yeah, right. I'm going to make sure that I'm 100% focused now on driving home.
Yeah.
So Nancy's saying 101 is an amplification of energies.
Yeah, that's great.
Actually, it is trip to zero amplifies other numbers.
Yeah, I'll look into that. Thanks, Nancy. I like
Where
that.
there is something done and the intent, it carries those energies. Even when people do them for eBay, I have to be careful. Either. Yeah,
You have. Yeah.
You know, you're right. Intent is a very, very, very real thing, and it's like people could be casting spells left, right, and centre where these days, and they don't know about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. That's red electrician's tape. If you pass that to someone and say that's this electrician's tape, it will whistle one when something really bad happened, and it's cursed. Now, you get it that story, that person sees it. Whoa, that's heavy. That, you know what I mean?
But I'll still have it anyway. But something happens,
and then they think, "Whoa, that's not good." Pass it on.
I'm just saying, I've got this story I've been told, and something bad happened.
Yeah.
Here, then, John, you will do it.
And then person you pass it to, they're like, "Whoa." You know,
now this tape has got a story.
It's building up.
Well, we've got it a story now.
Yeah, we've got it a story now. I'm thinking actually we're going to chuck this tape out. So now you've got it an intent. You've passed a story on. It's built up energy, and then if there's any spirits what are a bit untoward knocking about, they'll be like, "I'll attach to that. I'll make it real for them." And so yeah, Terry, weren't it?
Yeah.
I'm with that, Terry. I get it.
So, do you believe you had an attack? Right. So, I'll tell you very briefly. So, when he stuck the cross onto that Debo box, I didn't know anything about it.
Nothing happened in my house.
Night. But I were experiencing what I thought were rats in my bedroom.
And you didn't tell me because it's like it's his issue. That would be your issue,
weren't it? You know? It's like blooming out. There's rats. It got to a point where I was putting rat traps left, right, and centre. No rats. It was troubling me because you can't go to sleep knowing that there's a rat bloody messing around in your room. And plus, I were hearing noises and knocks, and to be honest with you, I thought I was going nuts.
Yeah.
At one point, until I saw a rat on my chest when I woke up, and then at that particular moment, I went, right, now I know what's happened. There's an attachment. They've actually zoned in and based it onto a fear. And it's a good job they didn't do it with wasps.
Yeah, because he hates wasps.
I hate wasps. So mentioned it to our John, and he told me the reason why. Because Debo box.
Well, we got talking, then we realised it were around the same time, and I'm like, that's weird because I put cross on top of Debo box. And then we arranged to get rid of Debo box within a couple of days, and it stopped.
And we did some banishing spells.
Yep.
And clearance of his property, and that's it. It was gone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was crazy, and you know, it was the worst 2 weeks of my life. That were.
Yeah, for about 2 weeks.
So
so we don't. Answer to that is we don't know, but it's clearly having a connection somewhere on lines. I think yeah, we'll say yeah, we did.
Nancy, if you want to send us any links, please send us links. We're happy to look at them.
Yeah, that's great, that Nancy. Yeah.
Because our John likes numbers.
Yes, I do actually.
And we're an hour and 20 minutes in, and I believe if our John talks about numbers, we'll probably be here all night.
Yeah, because numbers is something I've looked into, isn't it? Like gematria, things like that. It's really good. But yeah, please send me that link.
That's similar to mine. Mine was a fox in the house.
Ooh. Oh, Michael, yeah, you'll have to let us know about
that.
Yeah, definitely. Because
so steelworks.
Those things do happen. It is interesting to know about those. Actually, if you send that info in, Michael, let us know. We could talk about that on the next one.
Yeah, definitely. So steelworks.
Steelworks, guys, from beginning. We did his little trailer. Showed you longer ITC session.
A lot of accidents were coming up. Burns, skin melting.
Yeah.
It's a slum.
and which it's in disrepair now.
It's
right?
in disrespect. It is slummy, and you know, if you watch back, I will put a video with all them clips together.
Yep.
And I will be posting it up tomorrow. So you know, if you like to watch back for people who's just joined, give us your point of view. But we will be going back again with results that we've got, though, won't we?
Yeah, we'll home in on a few things that we picked up.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we can get more out of that location.
And I hope y'all guys join.
Yeah, join us when we go live next time. And
we always like screenshotters.
Screenshots are great. Comments, any subjects that's in your mind and you want to talk about, we love it. It's brilliant. So yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for joining in, watching, commenting. It's great having you on. We've got loads of stuff lined up as well. Actually, we had a little break recently, just getting things sorted out, fixed in different ways. Like we've done our own merchandise, things like that. Yeah, so we've been doing a lot, and then we've also got a private project as well that the results will be coming out for everyone to see. So some heavy research as well. So yeah, loads of good stuff coming up.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. Bye.
Bye.